When you're in the position, as we are with Authentic, where we have more submissions than we will actually have spots for mares to breed, it puts us in a great position to be able to really critically evaluate all of those mares. The first thing that you want to do with any stallion is get him opportunity. We've seen over and over that stallions are able to overcome lesser quality mares. They can't overcome no mares. In this case, getting numbers is not going to be a problem. So then we start to turn to quality. His book, the mares that have been submitted have been absolutely tremendous. You could easily confuse this group of mares with the book of mares that Into Mischief will breed, who's at $225,000 as opposed to Authentic's $75,000 stud fee. The kinds of things that we're looking for, first and foremost, we want a mare that has a good produce history. In other words, she has a very good likelihood of conceiving and maintaining that pregnancy and producing a live foal. The next thing that we're looking for is some combination of pedigree and performance. In younger mares, we want to see the race record. We want to see that they've demonstrated athletic ability. If they haven't demonstrated athletic ability, the other thing that we'd like to see is some depth to the pedigree. Black type. As you look through a pedigree, stakes winners are noted with a heavy, bold-faced black type print. And grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 stakes are all listed on a pedigree. Authentic's book is going to consist of a large number of young stakes winning mares. Mares that are a little bit older, you begin to shift away from that race record and more to their produce record. So we want to look at the sales history of the mare's offspring, and that gives you a good indication of whether or not they're producing attractive foals. Next, we want to look at their produce history in terms of performance. Are they producing athletes? The other things that we're looking for is pedigrees that make sense with Authentic and with his pedigree and with his sire line. Everything right now with him is theoretical. We don't know for sure what's going to work and what's not going to work. We know that with Into Mischief, various branches of the Mr. Prospector line have worked really well. Spitestown, Distorted Humor, and Sons of Distorted Humor. Mares by those sires have worked especially well with Into Mischief. Frankly, Into Mischief's such a good sire, almost anything works with him. Into Mischief physically is a very different type of horse than Authentic, and that's another thing that we take into consideration. Authentic has much more leg. He stands taller than Into Mischief. Into Mischief is a thicker bodied, a more heavily muscled horse. Think of a sprinter versus a distance. If you're thinking about Olympic athletes, you tend to see guys running the 100 meters. They're thicker, they're more muscular. The guys that are running the 1500 meters are leaner, longer types. And that's sort of the contrast in body styles that you see with these two horses. Into Mischief early in his career started with really not the best book of mares in the world. He was able to take those and get very good runners early on. As the quality of mares has improved, I think one of the things that you've seen is people have tended to breed bigger, more classic type of mares, classic pedigrees, distance pedigrees. Consequently, you're seeing physicals like Authentic. That does present a little bit of a challenge in terms of what type of physical mare you want to breed to Authentic. And there's a lot of different approaches. A common approach among breeders is to use something we call compensatory mating. In other words, look at the strengths and the weaknesses of an individual and try to compensate for those in the physical mating. So if you've got a horse that's got a lighter hind end, you're going to breed something with more substantial hind quarters. If you've got a stand that's a little bit smaller, you may want to breed a little bit taller mare to him. These are all considerations. At the same time, there's a number of breeders that are very, very successful with an approach of like-to-like matings. The theory being that what's worked for the stallion, why try to change it? Our number one trait is to just look for overall quality. That sometimes is tricky to define, but it's certainly breed the best to the best, and hope for the best is an old adage, and I think sometimes keeping it as simple as that goes a long way.